Laszlo's got another gig for us. Surprisingly, the client is from Trauma Team this time. Looks like they lost one of their premium holders, a student from the Night City University, Mariko Sahada. Her parents must have really stirred up Trauma Team if they are desperate enough to hire edgerunners for this. Anyway, this must be some kidnapping case. Mariko's trauma badge had given off a signal 3 days ago, but was suddenly silenced before Trauma Team could get a direct ping. Closest they can get is at Little China, a place called Golden Lotus. It's a punk bar for Night City's youngest and brightest to get dumber and make wrong choices. Not much to go on, but it's a start. For this gig, Laszlo only got Hawks, our netrunner, Mika the tech, and me, the getaway driver, to take on the assignment. "Yo, Sidewinder, what do you think happened to the girl?" Mika shouted out at the back of the car. "Not sure, but I do know that place in Little China. It's no Holiday Inn. Crazy stuff can happen at those spots. Now get your gear ready, and watch out for anything suspicious while we're there." We arrived at the Golden Lotus. Loud music, young Night City elites, a couple of punks selling blue glass. If anyone was to disappear, it definitely was going to be at this cesspool of hormones and alcohol. Mika scouted the surrounding area, checking out the back alley deals, and was our lookout in case anything tries to slip out of our reach. Me and Hawks went into Golden Lotus. Easy enough. A lot of minors, bad choices happening inside. Hawks could spot a few security cams. They may have a control room at the staff area. I looked around, found some Night City University girls getting flirted on by some gonk twice their age. "Yo!" I yanked the fool's collar and showed some of my metal. "Beat it." The gonk took the hint and bolted. "You girls from their university, right? Any chance you know her?" I used my agent to show a holographic image of Mariko. "Oh yeah, that's Mariko. I hear she disappeared 3 nights ago, along with her posses, Claire and Elise. It was so sad. She was very pretty." "Any idea why they disappeared?" I continued to inquire. "Sorry, no. All we heard was that they were having a great time at the Golden Lotus, and then never came to class the next day." Looks like I couldn't get much from them anymore. I thanked the girls and headed back to the bar with Hawks. "You find anything?" Hawks asked. "Nothing. And you?" "Well, we could probably check out the security cams, but the bartender here is not too cooperative and ain't allowing us a chance to look into their files." "Hold on, let me try something." We both went in for the barkeep. I showed the picture of Mariko. "You know who this is?" Some university student?" The barkeep responds. "Yeah, and she has some major corpo connections. Parents of hers are worried why this was the last place their pride and joy disappeared to. Now I suggest you cooperate with me or risk getting you and this place torn down by some big shot execs who have no care for this sorry place of a watering hole." The man was intimidated enough. We saw a bead of sweat drop from his forehead. All right. Yeah, I recognize the girl. She and 2 others were here 3 nights ago, talking it up with some handsome gentleman. He talked them into having a nice drive in Night City." Finally, a lead. "You know who the gentleman was?" The barkeep pointed on to the gonk that I scared away. He was already out the door. "Damn it! Mika, you got some gonk with the golden jacket. He's our guy." Mika, ready outside, found him buying a few unsavory things at the back alley. We cornered him and tossed him roughly at the back of the alley so we don't get disturbed. Whoa! What do you want with me?" I placed my piece to his head and showed him the pic of Mariko. "We know you know her. Now spill it, or I spill you." The man was shaking his boots. Pissed himself, probably. If I say anything, they'll kill me." We kicked his gut just for extra measure. "We'll flatline you if you don't say anything now." The scared gonk told us everything. Looks like he had a deal with a nearby scavenger gang. He knocks out a couple of civvies with cream chrome and bring them to their hideout. The scavengers take them apart and paste the gonk a bunch of eddies. Mariko and her friends had some expensive chrome on them and so brought them to the scavs. That's everything, okay? So please, let me go." We all looked at each other and nodded. Bang! The gonk was on the ground with a hole in between his brow. That day we got our first rep among the students of Night City University. The mean old edge runners that came to Golden Lotus one day and scared the shiz out of the place. It was hilarious. We drove to the scavenger's den, guns ready and looking mean as heck. Mika scouted out the place with his sniper rifle. The gonks were holding tight. Metal fence, coated gates, they even got an Arasaka turret along with 2 scavs on patrol. Definitely not something we can just smash into. This time we decided for the stealthy approach. We left the car a few blocks out and went behind their compound. With a well-placed grapple hook, we scaled the walls and onto the rooftop. Only way in was through the vents. Kinda small, so Mika and Hawk had to leave behind some of their gear just to squeeze in. I was in position from the rooftop, keeping eyes on the scav patrol. Inside, Hawk and Mika found the main control center and saw the cameras were pointed towards the room with 3 girls locked in and unconscious. Then, some massive bored-out scav comes in and drags one of Mariko's friends to the room at the end of the hall. No idea what's happening there, but it ain't good. We needed to take action now. Mika and Hawk attached their silencers and aimed it at the scav keeping watch of the control center. Both of them were above him, still hidden in the vents. The ambush went perfectly. The scav got 2 bullets to the brain and flatlined without anyone the wiser. They both dropped down as Hawk jacked into the mainframe. Mika takes point to keep watch. Inside NetSpace, Hawk uploads his conceal program to get past some black ice. He managed to get to the control module of the system, but was guarded by a hellhound black ice. Hawk loaded up his golden sword and armor program to deal with the black ice for good. He made good time and was able to get control of the system. Hawk also found a couple of vids. Looks like the room at the end of the hall is where they take apart the chrome of their victims and record the whole process for a brain dance. Sick gonks. Hawk activated the autolock that trapped the Borg scav in the room and trapped the scav patrol outside. He then took control of the turret, and with me at the top keeping watch, we both mowed down the scavs like they were turkey running for cover. Mika, in the meantime, went to the other room and checked on Mariko. She was not doing good, and the trauma badge on her is nowhere in sight. If he took Mariko now, she may die on the way. So with whatever he has on hand, Mika did emergency first aid and stabilized her. But it took too long, and Hawk reports that the big scav is now tearing away at the steel door. Mika looks to the other girls and curses. He doesn't have enough time. He decided to take and carry Mariko out first and come back for the other 2 later. The scav patrol had been beaten, but the Borg scav had escaped from the room he was trapped in and was headed towards the control room. Hawk disconnected in time and jumped out of the window just before a loud explosion tore down the doorway. The scav's arm cannon smoking as he scans the area, spotting us outside. Mika running out of the gate, while Hawk covering fire. At this point, I decided to jump down and aim for the pile of junk to try and cushion my fall. That didn't go too well. It was a bad fall, and I fell on some steel hardware. Must have broken or at least sprained something from that height, cause I had to limp away while trying to shoot down the Borg scav behind us. The Gonk was stacking our shots and blasted another round of his hand cannon at me and Hawk. We were terribly hurt and not gonna last too long. At least Mika got Mariko out. And then we suddenly heard my car rev in and broke down the gate. Mika was behind the wheels where he rammed the Borg through the wall. I can see Mika's head bleed from the impact. His vision must be spinning now. The Borg got back up as I yelled, "Inside the car, now!" I reversed the car and nitroed out before the Borg could get his bearings and lock onto us again. We saved the target, Mariko, but we were too badly hurt to get back and save the other two. But Trauma Team didn't care. We still got paid for saving their client. We even got a 1 free silver service from Trauma Team if ever one of us would get seriously hurt one of these days. That day may come sooner than we think. It was probably the closest we came to dying out there. And Mika was still down for failing to rescue the other two girls. But that's how it is in Night City. It's not much of a place to expect happy endings. Thank you for listening in to this retelling of my group's adventures in Night City Red. I hope you guys enjoyed listening in to the stories, and I hope you can give me a like, subscribe to get more in the future. See ya!